So, Chef Josiah,
Yes.
welcome to Hablo Talks. Thank you for joining us today.
Happy to be here in Visit Brighton. Love it.
Yeah.
Yes.
So let's start by learning a bit about you, about your career. Could you just tell us how you got to where you are today?
Yeah, well, I started cooking back when I was 18. Grew up in a household where my mother was a chef and she had a catering company that she cooked out of the house. So I kind of got into cooking that way, prepping a little to make some money to go surfing on the weekends, and slowly really enjoyed it and, created a love for it. As when my grandmother used to cook she's French, so she cooked some great meals, French classic meals, and just started having a love for the food, the flavor, dining, the whole idea of it. Kind of just said, okay, I'm gonna give this a shot. So got a job in the States at the age of 18 after high school. Really liked it. It's kind of crazy in some of the restaurants back then. So I moved to France when I was 18, and I lived in Paris for 3 years. Learning to cook, came back to Los Angeles, worked in some great restaurants for Wolfgang Puck and Joachim Splichal, a few others. Then I ended up going on my own, and then in 1996 I opened Giraffe with my childhood best friend Rafael Luneta. That's in Santa Monica. And then in 1999 I left to open Mélisse, and I guess you'd like to say the rest is history.
Yep.
We were #1 restaurant in Zagat quite a few times, #1 service, 2 Michelin stars. First one back in 2008.
Wow.
So it's been quite a journey. It's worked out pretty well.
Worked out pretty well indeed. You have a French style. That's your kind of training.
Yeah, well, I like to call it contemporary American with French influences.
Okay.
I use American products mostly. I'm in America, so I don't want to.
Yeah.
I don't do like a beurre blanc sauce usually or stuff like that. So.
Okay. And so what's your kind of signature dish? What's been on the menu forever, and what do people ask for?
We have an egg caviar dish as a signature dish. It goes amazing. But the one dish we're known for is a lobster bolognese dish, lobster bolognese.
Wow.
Believe it or not. And it's kind of a dish that came on the menu by accident, where it was like, well, we were doing the lobster tails, and it's getting expensive, and the food cost is high, and we have all these claws and arms and all these shells left. What can we do to make this not, have the food cost a little lower? Yeah. So I came up with this lobster bolognese dish, and before long, it was always subject to availability. So when we ran out of the claws and the arms and stuff, we'd 86 it or take it off the menu. But everybody wanted it so bad, so now it's been on the menu for like 20 years, 21 years. And we order all the lobsters in just for that dish. It's no longer a byproduct.
Yep.
It's a main product dish, and it kind of became the signature dish.
Yep.
I think if I never had to do it again, I'd be happy.
I'm sure. After 20 years.
It gave me carpal tunnel in my hands from spinning the pasta like this on the wrist so many times.
Yeah.
It's like a disaster. Crushed me.
Has it slightly evolved a little over the 20 years, or has it pretty much stayed true?
It's pretty much stayed true to the dish.
Okay.
Not much you can evolve it. It has changed how we prep it, but it's pretty much the same dish the whole time. It's not really something that you can change that much.
No. Must be fantastic. And so let's talk about Santa Monica and why Santa Monica?
When I was raised in Santa Monica, I moved there when I was 2 years old. I love the beach. I love the area. I just thought, look, where else but to put a restaurant? Obviously want to, stake my claim or claim my stake or claim my fame in Santa Monica, hometown.
Yeah.
Went to high school there all the way through, so I thought it'd be it's a good idea. I ended up getting the distinguished alumni from my high school. 168 years, only 58 people in that distinguished alumni.
Wow.
Only 2 chefs, my best friend Rafael and myself, so wasn't bad.
That's not bad, no.
No, not at all.
Yeah. And so, and has the Santa Monica scene evolved in terms of the restaurant scene over those years?
Yes, it's evolved a lot. But in some ways, it's always been pretty cutting edge, from Michael's, who opened Michael's there in the 1970s, and when Wolfgang Puck opened Chinoise on Main in the 1980s. It's been a place that people have come, cutting edge restaurants have come and opened many years over the time. But yes, it's evolved a lot, it's changed a lot, but it's still the same quaint, cool city.
Quite cool city, yeah. So who's been your biggest mentor in your career, and what kind of advice have they given you?
Well, along the way I've had several mentors. I'd say Chef Georges Vernote is the first chef I worked with in France. When I moved to France when I was 18, and it was a small restaurant, and As advice, he never really gave me one piece of advice that stand through. He just taught me what it meant to be a chef, and it's going to be hard work. It's going to be brutal.
Yeah.
And he learned in the old guard, and he taught me a little like the old guard, so not much love given there. But just he helped change my work ethic to have a strive and a desire to get through it different. It was just, it's hard to explain the exact point what he did, but it just changed how I worked, and there was no more, he kind of kicked the laziness out of me.
Yeah.
Any laziness that I could have as a young adult. And then I have obviously Chef Joachim Splichal of the Patina Group, a dear friend and mentor. He was just inspiring to watch how he pushed his businesses and grew them from being a chef to a businessman, as I kind of evolve right now from being a chef to a businessman. Okay. Just watching his path, and I call him all the time for advice on how to make that transition. I'm actually on my way to see him after this to spend some time with him, and I'm sure we'll have some long talks about that. So there's not one piece of advice. Yeah. It's constant support and mentorship. And
I guess if you were going to talk to an international traveler and say, why, aside from the restaurant scene, why would someone from the UK or France come to Santa Monica?
Well, I think first the beaches are beautiful white beaches. We have an amazing Strand bike path that goes on for 22 miles, like 50 kilometers. Great restaurants along the Strand. Yeah. We have a beautiful pier. We have lots of parks. They're all kind of different. Hiking in the Santa Monica Mountains, and I think just all the boutique shops. Like it's a cool city. Like we have this street like Main Street, or we have Montana, the Santa Monica Promenade, with a lot of different boutique shops where you can go shopping, and different art galleries. We have if you're into art, we have the Bergamot Station that has some great galleries, modern, contemporary, local artists. Yeah. So a lot of great restaurants. It's a lot to do. It's like a little metropolis in itself.
Yep.
You can pretty much have a great time without leaving
Santa Monica.
Yeah. Great hotels along the beaches.
Fantastic. And then finally, maybe just tell us a little bit about why you're in Brighton. I mean, why are you sat here today?
Well, I feel honored, and that they Santa Monica out of all the restaurants. Chose me as one of the chefs to come represent Santa Monica. Kind of here to represent the friendship cities.
Yep.
And they're very similar in lots of ways. They're pretty laid back, pretty beach towns. Both have historical piers. Both have great strands, boardwalks with lots of people on them, beautiful beaches. I think it's interesting because you have very similar environments, but completely different cultures. As I look down the beach, it's different than Santa Monica, but then so much the same.
Yep. Yeah.
It's pretty cool how that is.
Yeah. Fantastic. Well, Chef, thank you so much for your time. It's been amazing to learn a bit about your history and what you've been up to and why you're here, and enjoy the rest of your time in Brighton, and safe travels back.
I look forward to it. It's going to be great.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.